Howdy YouTube, and welcome to this episode of the Gunman. So this video here I'll be taking you through the paintwork on this Volkswagen GTI. I'm pretty sure that's all they're called. It's just a GTI that's on the badge anyway, but it looks to me like a Volkswagen Polo. Pretty cool little car though, I must admit. As you can see there, just the rear bumper bar is getting done in a bit of UV primer because it forgot to get primed the day before. So we had to, a bit of a repair. UV primer, whack it in the sun for 15 minutes, and off you go. But anyway, I'm not going to be including all the prep work in this video. It stays basically the same as most of my other videos, and we're just going to get straight in the booth and start painting some shit. And so it's two brand new doors. I prepped up the outside as best I could. Like these Volkswagen doors, that are like new panels from Volkswagen, man, that is some serious primer they put on them, and it just doesn't sand. I mentioned in one of my other videos recently that there is a specific 3M sandpaper called E-Coat, and it does really well against those Volkswagen, Audi and Porsche panels. Most of the other panels aren't so bad to sand, but Anyway, so while I was putting the wet on wet primer down, I left the car covered up, so edge mask, but just plastic over the top of it. Serves two purposes. For one, you're not going to get non-sanding or wet on wet primer overspray all over your blend panels, and also it gives a little bit of flash off time while you're doing your masking. It makes sure that your non-sanding primer is going to be flashed off nicely when you do go to put your base coat on. Non-sanding primer is also called sealer over in the US. We don't really call it sealer over here. Wet on wet or non-sanding primer. But yeah, just going around doing the masking, making sure it's nice and tight, keep it clean. If you would like to check out the link for the collab blades, that's down in the description of each one of my videos from now on, so you don't have to, if anyone does ask, I can just say go straight there. That's where it is, and you can get yourself one of those blades. They're awesome, really handy to have. They're cheap too. I think they're like 60 pence, sorry. It's like $1, something like that, cheap as. As I say, just keep it nice and tight. Nice long pieces of tape. And another one that a couple of people have mentioned, I think his name was Chris, 2012 Chris from memory. You don't want too much of the sticky side of the tape showing up, so I'll backmask that wheel arch there. And you want to get your second piece of tape right up over it, so that when you're wax and grease removing, the wax and grease remover or the prep sol won't wet that back up, and then you're wiping that over the panel. If that makes sense, I hope it did. Just keep it nice and tight, and less of the glue side showing out, as you can see around that wheel arch there. So down on that sill panel, there was a little bit of stone chip, stone guard, whatever you want to call it. I actually got myself an awesome new stone guard gun, a Segola one. I think I'll do a bit of a review on it. It's got so many settings on it, man, it's awesome. I've never seen a stone guard gun quite like it. It's got like a fan setting, it's got fluid settings, it's got pressure settings on it. Really handy. I'm sure it would be a bit more on the expensive side, but definitely worth it from where I'm sitting anyway. Well, they also sent out a seam sealer gun too, which I'm pretty happy with, so yeah, might as well do a couple of reviews. I haven't done a review for a while. I enjoy making them, but let us know your thoughts if you like my reviews, if you're missing my reviews. I do know that like a lot of people seem to get a lot out of them, but for some reason these everyday spray painting videos do seem to get more views. Like I did one Range Rover Evoque, just spray painting, and it's my most viewed video. I think it's up around 700,000 views, and I only uploaded in January, so totally killing it. Which is another part of the reason why these days I don't mind doing a bit of promotion on other channels. Like I would say that myself, if I'm to be honest, over the rest of my YouTube career, I would have consider myself pretty competitive, and it's all about me. You don't want to help other YouTubers out by sharing their content or anything like that. But now where I'm sitting, I'm just like, it's all been a success. Anything can happen now. My account could get deleted, and it would be like I sort of achieved what I set out to at the start. So I don't believe that helping another channel out, like even things like Tony's Refinishing, and doing a bit of a shout out to some of the other guys in the industry with, you know, not as big of a following, if I can help them. I don't say it's going to do my channel any harm anymore, like it never probably would have anyway, but it's just that bit of a, I guess, the head state that you're in. Yeah, it's all good these days. I'm not really worried about that, so I think I will do a few more shout out videos in the future too. Even Rickster from Rickster Reviews, he's a fellow Kiwi mate. I think I'll do shout out to him, so you'll probably see a comment down below from him. If you do, go and check out his videos. He's been spending a bit of time on the video editors as well. Even another guy, Motivated Painters, he's from Canada, and I think he's originally from Ecuador, but he seems like a pretty good dude as well. And yeah, I've reached out to him. I said, man, do a bit of a introduction video and I'll upload it to my channel, and yeah, share the love, mate. It's not all about me. Yeah, anyway, continuing on, we'll just yeah, get the base coat on. So True T, or T2 was the name of the color, was the color code for this, and it's like Phantom Black. It's got a few different names, but this is the same color that was on that Porsche Macan S, and it's also it's on the Audis, the Porsches, and the Volkswagen. Because yeah, as you probably already know, they're all sort of owned by the same company, same parent company these days. Yeah, just using that Segola 4600 Extreme, running it at 1.5 bar. Sometimes, like now it's cooling down a little bit. I've noticed myself cranking it up a little bit to like 1.7, even 1.9, 2 bar sometimes, depending on the job. It just atomizes that little bit finer. I actually found that it was going on like big lumps of paint, and it wasn't blending out as nice a couple of days ago when I was doing this silver. So crank the pressure up that little bit more, and it seemed to be atomizing that little bit finer. But yeah, like in the middle of summer, if I'm to use 1.7 bar, it's like you're holding on the end of a bloody fire hose. So yeah, you just don't need that high pressure in the warmer months. But yeah, as far as clear coat, I run it 2 bar just about all year round. Sometimes in the winter, yeah, I might even crank it up a little bit, and you know, 2.1, even 2.2 depending. But as I say, that's what I always say in my videos. I say adjust as required. You know, you just got to watch that paint going on, and if it's going on the way you like it to, go for it. But yeah, still pretty impressed with that Segola. I've been using it ever since I got it, and it was like December last year. Spray Guns Direct actually are going to send a new one of these out for me, because there was a bit of speculation around whether or not I got some sort of a demo, you know, a pre-release gun, and it's not exactly the same as the mass-produced ones, because we got them so early. We got them like 2 or 3 months earlier than the distributors, and I've mentioned in a couple of other videos, I don't think it was a very wise move by Segola there. I will be talking to them next time, and any other spray gun manufacturers. If you want to give someone a gun in the online community, before you give it to, before it's available for the masses, to the distributors, you need to make it pretty damn clear why you've done that. You know, I can't see that they even benefited at all by doing it, to be honest. They would have been better off getting it in the distributor's hands first. That way, as soon as people see them online, even just as a marketing side of things, I start uploading videos with it, people are excited about it, and they're like, hey, I want to get one, and I can get one. Not wait for 2 months, then the hype might have died down a bit. Like, you get some people who are literally just impulse gun buyers, you know, like DS Baker, man, he is insane. Like, he's got so many guns. He's this guy over in the USA, and like, I know him through Instagram, but man, his gun collect puts mine to shame. Absolutely puts mine to shame. I don't know if I'm really a gun collector. I just like spraying with them. I guess sitting here next to my GTI, I couldn't really say I'm not a gun collector, but yeah, I'm happy to let them move on. But yeah, always find myself going back to that Pro Light. The reason I'm not using the Pro Light for clear on this job here was that we ran out of clean gun wash thinners, and with my Nebula, that Pro Light, I only ever let clean gun wash go through it. So we've got like the recycled gun cleaning system, and yeah, I don't like having that recycled thinners go through my clear coat gun, because what can happen, like there'd be little bits of metallic particles coming through that recycled thinners, and if you put that into your clear coat gun, you can have sometimes little bits of trace amounts of the metallics still left in your gun. And then you can go and do like a solid color, like a black or a white, but do it in clear over base. You can have little bits of those metallic particles actually come through your clear coat. So that's actually why I'm not using the Nebula on this job. But I worked the, so this is actually my base coat gun. This is actually the exact same gun you saw me just using the base coat. But I'm using the titanium air cap, just swapped the titanium air cap out. Again, it's just got the 1.3 on it, same as the base coat. But man, it's a pretty damn good gun. I really enjoy spraying with it. You know, I wouldn't say it's any worse than the Nebula, you know, or the Pro Light in a way. It's just personal preference, I guess. At the end of the day, they do the same thing. You can get the identical results out of them. It's only going to be a few little cosmetic things. It's the difference between them, really. As far as paint usage goes, it's just going to come down to you. I think you're not going to get a massive amount of paint savings between the Bulbous and the Segola, but yeah, great gun, as you can see. But I think they're better than the 4500, like the Titania. That's right. I lent one of these guns off a guy from over here in WA. He brought it in to my old shop just for the sake of review, and the Titania air cap on the 4500 had these tiny little air holes in them, and they will clog up so easily. Like just a little bit of dirty thinners would be enough to clog it up, whereas the new Titania, the holes seem to be just that little bit bigger, and they don't seem to clog up as bad. So I also found that the 4500 was a touch slow for some reason. Maybe it was just me, but I have heard some other people say the same thing. Although back then I was spraying with a lot lower pressure than what I do now. And I think part of that's that booth that I was in. Like, if I spray with this amount of pressure in that booth where I was in my own shop, the whole booth just fills up with overspray, and you literally can't see what you're doing after like 1 minute. Whereas this booth here, it's got really good airflow in it, and yeah, you can crank that pressure up, get those nicer finishes. Whereas back in my old shop, I was just forced to low pressure and just hose it on. I mentioned it to a couple of people in some of my previous videos, and I've been getting some like sort of silicon, sort of solvent pop. I don't really know what it is, to be honest. It's like a contamination. I reckon it's crap falling. Oh, I'm just about 100% sure it is crap falling from the roof. But this job here, like you'll see it looked mint when I'd finished painting it, and gave it 20 minutes. I'm like, yeah, I'll give it a good 20 minutes before I hit bake. Hit bake, come back, and I was like, my heart was just gutted, wrenched, mate. Just, why, you know? So I ended up having to repaint the whole job except for the rear bar. Like, the whole job got hit except for the rear bumper bar, and it's just heart-wrenching, mate. Terrible. But then the next time I did it, I sprayed it in this same booth and didn't bake it, and I left it for like 45 minutes before I even switched the booth off. But yeah, like there's been a couple of people trying to help out and got some very good possibilities, like something to do with the burner. Like there might be a break in the case, so it might be that when it's hitting over to bake cycle, it's blasting all this gas in there, which is possibly contaminating. I think it's more likely crap falling from the roof, because when you go from spray to bake, you've got like a flap that closes on the air, so obviously most of the air is going to die right down, and then I reckon that like gives a bit of a jolt in the whole spray booth, and it like knocks those filters, and any little bits of crap on those filters are just going to come down and land on our job. Like we've painted, say, like a white car. You paint a white car and you actually see these tiny little bits of black crap landing on the panel, and again sometimes you do like a black car and you see these tiny little white specks sitting on it, and everywhere there's like a tiny little bit of white dust. There'll be like the little indentation. Like they're not big open like fish eyes. It's not like fish eyes. It's just like tiny little imperfections. But I tried polishing it out on this one, and because they were too small to fill. Like, you know, if you get like a big sort of fisheye, you'll get like a touch-up brush, you dab it in, you'll be able to tungsten it back or razor blade it back, block it down, polish it out, and you'll be pretty good. These ones on this, they were too small to fill, but too big to polish out. So you're in the boat of repainting it. I got the boss, I just said, man, put the doors back on and I'll paint the side. I didn't get any footage of it because I was so gutted and wrenched, like so pissed off that I just wasn't in the mood for recording. I didn't record painting it the second time either. I just got a little bit of footage when it was in the booth, again for the second time. But that's it, off the gun. Like, you can see that, oh yeah, there's a couple of bits of crap in it, but there's no like tiny little silicone holes the whole way through the job. Bloody hell. And this is using the good Standox clear as well, the Standox standard clear. That's just painting for you, I guess, and this is the kind of reason why I'm happy not to have my own shop. Like, some people would be like, hey man, you should have your own shop, and I'm like, why? I don't want it. I'm happy in life at the moment without it. I'm getting paid pretty damn well as on wages, and you know, if this is my own shop and I'd just done a job like this and gone and had it ruined like that, and you got to double your material usage and get it back in the booth again, and it's stressful, you know. For me, it's like, yeah, it's annoying, but I'm not going to lose any sleep over that job, you know. If anything, I'm making a bit of YouTube ad revenue off uploading it to YouTube, so it's all good, you know. And yeah, I get to work on nice cars. I'm not stuck doing cheap restoration work where you do, you know, hours and months on jobs where you actually average out your hourly rate, and you're probably going to be on $20 an hour, where I'm on, you know, over double that here. But yeah, so that's it, and that's all I said. So this is the footage of me redoing it and it was mainly a flow coat. There was one or two spots where I cut through, just puffed a little bit of base coat, slammed a couple more coats of clear on it, and job done. Gave it a bit of a denib the next morning. I actually denibbed this whole job myself. Pretty happy with how it came up. The boss just said, man, this is fussy customer, and rightfully so. It's a pretty nice car. Couldn't blame him for being fussy. But yeah, nice job. I'm pretty happy with it. All looks all good. We're going to leave it at that for this one, Gunners. Hope you've enjoyed watching it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below. Bit of feedback. Check out my shop where you'll be able to get singlets, stubby coolers, hats, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, see you in the next one. Now you've seen this video, get out there and paint some shit. Thanks for watching, and this has been another Gunman production. Goodbye.